Very relaxed. This is you. Continue. We can't hear you.
Okay. Yes. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of our annual Valentine chat on sex, mainly. Yes, sex and intimacy most of the time. So you're welcome to all participants, and to my guests, I say welcome. And thank you for joining us on this special program.
Thank you.
We all know culturally, we don't talk about sex. And we all know that it's a major problem in our society, it's a major problem in marriages. And because we don't talk about it, it continues to be a major problem. A lot of people would have loved to improve their sex life if they are able to talk about it. If the husband is able to say exactly what he wants in a relationship, and if the wife also is able to say what she wants in a relationship, I think a lot of marriages will have been saved, will have been better off than what they are now. So we are trying to break this myth of not talking about sex. That's why all the time when we have the opportunity, we want to, bring it out to the open. Let's talk about it. Let's be open. Let's be open about sex. You are married, talk about sex within yourselves. Husband should be able to be open and say, you are married. For goodness sake, you are married. There is nothing hidden. So that's why all the time we try to bring this program up so that everybody can learn one or two things. We learn from each other. People will type in their questions, and we'll be able to learn from one another. From your own experience, another person will share. So today, I have with me a couple that I love so much. I respect them a lot. I have learned from them a lot because they went through a lot. But they went through a lot, they went through it together. They went through it together. That is rare in many cases for couples to have challenges and to still be together after all these years of the challenges that they went through. So that's why it's so easy for me to call on them to say, I need you on this show. Can you share your experience? And I'm so grateful to them because they are a kind of couple that they don't hide. They talk, about what they've been through, not hiding anything, not hiding anything. And a lot of people have gained from them. A lot of people have learned from them, and that has really helped them. So I have them with me. They've been married for a couple of years, I would say. They will introduce themselves. Mr. and Mrs. Omonze Vurokai, you're welcome. So please, let's hear from you. Let's get to know you. Just tell us briefly about yourself and about the two of you.
Thank you for having us. And we want to wish everybody listening happy Valentine's. Since this is the Valentine edition, we are still in the month of February, so it's not out of place to say happy Valentine's. She's Lara and I am Omoz, Mr. and Mrs. Eboroka, as we have been introduced. We've been married for some years now.
Tell us how many years?
December will make it 24 years. We've been married.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we've done 23 Valentines as a couple.
Yeah.
We waited for 16 years before we had a baby, who is a big girl now. And during that period, we did IVF for 11 times. My wife is an accountant and I'm a lawyer. I'm also the president of FI. FI is a non-governmental, non-religious organization. FI stands for Fertility Awareness Advocate Initiative, and is essentially a body that talks about fertility options, counseling of couples going through infertility, and talking broadly about fertility and fertility issues. We are based in Lagos, and
we are open.
we are just the way we are.
Thank you so much. You know, I've actually forgotten. It's almost 24 years. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I think I was stuck on 16 in my head.
Okay.
24 good years.
Before
Wow.
Zara came.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I said I was stuck on 16.
Zara is 7.
Zara is 7 now. Yes, that's true. So, yeah, good to meet you. Let me first of all say something. A family begins on a couple's wedding day, while a child causes the family to grow. A family of 2 is no less a family.
Yeah, true.
So that's where we're going to start from. When you get married, just the 2 of you, that's a family.
Yeah.
When a child comes, then it's an additional. It causes the family to grow. So from the family of 2, you become a family of 3, you become a family of 4, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So we should not lose that focus that as a couple, you are a family.
Yeah.
So let us start from Mr. and Mrs. Eboroka. You've been married for almost 24 years. You waited for 16
years.
16 years before Zara came.
Yeah.
So just tell us briefly, how was it from the time that you got married until Zara came? How was it with both of you? How did you cope?
Well, this is a practical program, and we'll say it exactly as it is or exactly as it was. It wasn't fun waiting for that long period without a baby. We're in Africa, we are in Nigeria, we know our culture. Even on the day of wedding, the prayer is, oh, in 9 months' time, we will come and rejoice with you with a baby. And so whether you like it or not, all eyes are on you. Everybody is watching to see if the tummy is protruding. And if there is no protrusion, those who are bold enough initially will be asking questions. Are you guys just doing boy yo-yo? In our case, somebody actually asked us, are you guys just doing boyfriend and girlfriend and you don't want to have a child? And we replied and said, oh, we are doing boy yo-yo, but we want a child and we are working towards that. Yeah. It wasn't fun. It was a lot of, how do I put it? Emotional drain, financial drain, and always being on the spot. Yeah. Like I said, whether you like it or not, when you attend functions, oh, they got married last December, they got married 2 Decembers ago. We are still waiting to hear the cry of the baby. We are still waiting to hear them invite us for naming ceremony and all that. And we were the outgoing type. And so we were still attending baby functions, weddings,
all of parties,
baby shower, baby dedication, and all that. And so we just couldn't hide. I mean, we were in the midst of it. It was part of life, and we didn't want our life to just be on the standstill. We wanted to live a normal life. And so we kept on challenging ourselves, because the truth is, for couples who are waiting, you have to challenge yourselves. You have to tell yourselves, exactly what you want. In our own case, it was, see, we are not going to live our lives short of how it should be. As a young couple, we are going to enjoy ourselves while waiting. But the truth is,
It wasn't
it
easy.
wasn't fun waiting. Dashed hopes. Oh, it's going to be this month. Oh, I haven't seen the red. Thank God, let's wait. And then you are now told it has come. And so expectations high and low, but we told ourselves we were going to forge ahead and live our lives the way it should be. Like I said, we consoled ourselves. If nobody will console you, you just have to console yourself.
Console yourselves,
and move on, yes, while praying and hoping that the baby comes.
Wow.
Sexually, if you are not careful, it has a way of draining you, because if you are not careful, sex now becomes mechanical, where you have to be checking the dates, how many days abstinence they give to us.
Actually, that's where I'm coming to. That's where I'm coming to. You know, because when you are waiting, the first 1 year, maybe you are not really bothered. No. Think that, okay, it will come.
It will come.
Usually, most people are not bothered the first year.
True.
But by the time it gets to the second year,
the
third, it becomes a problem. And that's where I'm really coming to. Sex becomes like a ritual. It becomes like mechanical, like you said. Did you experience that? And how were you able to manage it?
Well, we did. Maybe I'll let her speak now, since we were in it together.
Okay, yes, we did. Sex was really, really mechanical. But just like my husband had said, we had made up our mind that come what may, we're going to stick together. That was the first decision we made, that irrespective of what happens, baby or no baby, we're going to stick together. Especially him, he kept on assuring me and told me, see, I am not going to look for another woman. If baby comes, fine, that's an icing on the cake. If it doesn't come, then it's just you and me, we move on. And when it comes to the sex life, I guess maybe because of the assurance I get from him from time to time, it was a lot easier. We just took sex like fun. We didn't really, because initially we were restricting it to the timings, the doctors will give you
ovulation period.
The doctors will tell you, do it on this day, blah, blah, blah. But because the mind is already at peace, it was a lot easier for me to just say, okay, ovulation or no ovulation, let's just get on. Even at times, we even forget that we have dates to meet. We would have maybe they said, okay, meet, they would usually tell you 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off. The day we're supposed to be on probably might even be the day we will be off, because we had forgotten and we had done it the previous day. So it was so easy for us to just, go on like that.
From what I can gather, both of you talk about this challenge. You talk about the way forward. You talk about yourselves as a couple. Because if your husband is talking to you and assuring you that all is well, that I am with you, because that's one problem that we have in our society. It's usually a woman's problem. It's never the man's problem.
Yeah.
But in your own case, from what I gathered from you, he was assuring you that all will be well, and that we're in this together.
Yes.
No matter what, I'm not going anywhere.
Yes.
And that's exactly what happened. I know this couple, like I said, I know them very well. If I happen to write a book in my life on this topic, I'm going to share their story a lot, probably not mentioning their names, but I know a lot. That's how put in that book, because I know a lot about them. Now, so you kept reassuring her that all will be well. But can you recall any day that maybe you had challenges based on sex that you were not able to connect?
Did we?
Okay, fine. Like I said, waiting drains you emotionally.
Yeah.
I think it also drains you sexually. The anxiety issue is there, especially when you have commenced your treatment, and then you now have to, like we always make fun and say we are going to donate to Nordica. And you are asked to come and drop your semen. Because of the anxiety, there's always the likelihood that if you do not relax to the fullest,
nothing will happen.
The small man down there will disappoint you. And out of anxiety, you won't be able to meet up your obligation, in quote. So those were part of it. And then the togetherness factor now plays a part, because you have seen your challenge as not her fault, not your fault, not as a blame game. She's responsible for what we are going through. He's responsible for what we are going through. But we saw it as a common challenge, a common setback that we had to overcome. And so it was easy to now talk to ourselves to say, relax, oh boy, relax. And then I'll now say, okay, we'll have to relax. And then we overcame that challenge. For speaking generally, there's always a tendency to say, oh, Shebi, we've been having sex towards having a baby all these years and there's nothing to show for it. There's every tendency to say, I beg you don't reach, Bo. All this one that we have been doing, what is the result? So my appeal is to the men especially listening, and the women too, that see this as a common challenge. Both of you must fight it. Both of you must face it headlong. And in any way you can support the other party, don't hesitate to do that. It's not a question of, let me try somewhere outside. And that, because while waiting, there is this strong temptation. Oh, if it's not happening, then let me also prove myself that I'm a man and all that.
Especially when people have been telling
you that, especially when people are whispering to you.
You're not a man.
And some will not even tell you you're not a man. They'll say, hey, boy, it's not your fault. Why not
try and go outside?
Yes, you show that you are capable. It is not a capability issue. It's not, okay, let me go and prove to my wife that I'm a man by going outside. Because, again, you are not sure of the woman you are meeting outside. And she knows the problem you are going through. And she tells you, oh, I'm not pregnant, whereas the pregnancy is not yours. So, we've read about the DNA. Yes, we've read about the DNA saga going on now. So it's a time when both of you must stick together, stay by yourselves, so that whatever product now comes out, you can beat your chest and say, this is our baby. And not 20 years down the line, you are now saying, let's go and do DNA. I'm not too sure because I played away. So I need to be sure now that the baby is mine and all that. So there are bound to be temptations. There are bound to be temptations, especially considering the type of work that you do. While we were waiting, I was doing more of traveling. And so I was meeting
all sorts of people.
Yes, all sorts of girls who will want to throw themselves at you.
Even when you are not asking, they will come.
Even when you're not asking, I mean, and some will be very direct, especially those who have an idea of what you are going through. Because some of us can be reckless, and then you now begin to say, we've been married though. You see, this is the 7th year now. It's always my wife is yet to give us a baby. It's not that we are yet to have a baby. And so the woman is willing to help you have a baby. And so before you know it, what you don't ordinarily will do, you find yourself doing it.
Yeah.
So I want to appeal to those who are waiting. Please stick to yourselves. And it's just a temporary setback. Thanks to technology, there must always be a way. It's just a matter of time. We do not pray that any of you wait for 16 years, but waiting is waiting. Even if
waiting is
waiting.
10 months, waiting is waiting. It happens.
Waiting is waiting, even if it's a month. So it will surely come, but always have it at the back of your mind that there is life after the baby comes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That brings me to what I'm going to talk about next. When we talk about sex, most times people think it's just for pleasure. You know, the sexual motive is all about making baby or just about pleasure, you know, and all that. Even for the unmarried ones, it's just for pleasure, you know. But you know, sex goes beyond that. Sex is a physical need. It is a physical need. It's you know, it includes the pleasure that you get from it. It takes off stress away from you. And it's a goal-based reason also when you have sex. Goal-based in the sense that you are, maybe you want to have a child. That's goal-based. We want to have sex so that you can have babies. That's one. It's an emotional need. Sex is an emotional need. Sex is also, it's a spiritual need. Either we like it or not, it is a spiritual need.
It is.
So, where am I going? If you base your sex life on just having children, then a lot of things will be missing. The physical, because you are just having the sex because you just want to have baby. Just do it and get up. And you look at, you know, you look at yourself whether the sperm is coming off. That's the way people think. Let me see whether the sperm is coming off or not. You just get up and that's it. Then you look for another day again that the doctor say you should meet. Then you have sex again. So you are just doing it mechanically. You are just doing it as a routine, as something that, well, we just have to do it. But you are forgetting the physical need. You are forgetting the emotional need. You are forgetting the spiritual need. And eventually, if you now have that child, what happens after? When both of you are not connected. You are not connected when you are married, when you are waiting. Now, when you now have a child, what happens to the both of you?
It's even more
so
difficult.
That's where the problem is. And that's what we are trying to say, that while you are waiting, you must connect. Your sex life must not suffer. Because at the end of the day, you still have one another. And what's going to happen when you don't have that connection, when you don't have that relationship, you now shift your attention to your child, then that's when your husband will now go out to go and look for one lady with one package, you know, package breast, and you know, and they have all sorts of them out there now, waiting for them, waiting for the men who will stray to meet them. In order to protect yourself, in order to protect your home, in order to protect your marriage, then what we are saying is, while you are waiting, you will still need to connect. And this is all about communication. You need to talk about sex. Sex does not have to be what you are giving. Sex will have to be what you want. What does your husband want? What do you want as a woman? Let the husband be able to tell the wife what exactly you want in sex. It's not just about when I come. You know, some people will tell me, the husband will just say, oh yeah, let's go. I'm waiting for you on the bed. No,
then it's like a duty.
Like a duty. It doesn't have to be that way. Sure, you don't know that I've been waiting for you on the bed and you're still in it. And you know, women, we have a way. That's when you now decide that you want to wash the plates that you have not washed this morning. That's when you decide that you want to clean up. because you're avoiding sex.
Mm.
So that communication is so important.
Yeah.
So important. Ability to talk about yourselves, ability to talk about your challenges. Where we are now, we are not going to be there tomorrow. And your today will determine your tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's very important. That's a fundamental thing that everybody should take along with them. Somebody is asking a question here. He says, how did you deal with all the questions from people? Do you let people know you had seen a doctor and you are going through IVF? Or you just ignore the questions?
Well, there are some questions you must give answers to, but you have a right not to tell everybody what you are going through. Yeah, so if you've been married for 5 years and the baby has not come, without anybody even prompting you, they could read in between the lines to know that, oh, maybe they are seeing a doctor, they are waiting. Close friends, close family members will be on your neck. Oh boy, what is happening? This is Nigeria, this is Africa. Oh boy, what is happening?
Some actually mean well.
Your family members will ask questions. They actually mean well. Where they get it wrong is how they go about it. Yeah, some want to know in order to taunt your wife. Oh, this Yawo that we have married, she just thinks she's doing fine, baby. She's always shiny. When is she going to give us a baby? You guys, you know, age is not on your side. What are you doing about this baby issue? Are you seeing a doctor? It's simple. We are seeing a doctor, we just do.
Yeah.
You don't need to go into details. You know, now not the cow, now their hand we day now. We are just trying. That is between you and your wife. We are seeing a doctor is enough answer for that person, unless that person is just prognosing.
Yeah.
So you have to be very discreet. You have to also protect your family life. Otherwise, what stops you from going to Guardian newspaper to say, oh, this is the problem, this is what we are doing, this is who I are saying and all that. So some you will definitely give answers to, but you have to be very discreet. You have at all times, especially with the men, your aim is to protect your wife because the pressure gets to her more. And you can always dance around it. In our own case, because people will always ask questions and go beyond their boundaries, for some time, there's this family function, I go alone. I shield my wife. Any question you want to ask me.
Ask me.
And I will now know the type of answers to give. And the moment I've given you those answers, I don't expect you to call my wife behind to now say, what is going on? So we have to shield one another and be very discreet in the answers that we give to people.
Yes, thank you so much, Omos, for that beautiful point. Because you see, most times we have boys getting married. They are not men. And unfortunately, that's where the problem comes because they're unable to shield their wife, like you said. Even sometimes, it may be the challenge of infertility may even be from the man.
Yeah, most times.
Not necessarily from the woman.
Not from the woman.
But the man is unable to shield the wife from family members who are putting their nose into what is not their problem. The moment you get married, they have given, the wife is for the man and the man is for the wife. Families are supposed to answer. I see a lot of people and I wonder, sometimes people come to the clinic with the mother, the wife will come with the mother and the mother will want to stay with her in the clinic to, you know, even when the doctor is attending to them. I said, no, did you take permission from the husband? The woman would look at me like, why do I need to take permission from the husband? I said, yes, because as a couple, I am bound not to disclose whatever is between them to you.
Yeah.
But if you have the permission from the girl's husband, then you can stay with the doctor. Why would I want to follow my daughter to go and see a specialist, a fertility specialist, to know exactly what is wrong with them? Why do I need to do that? Some women will do that. They will go all the way and they know everything. Even when the man, sometimes when they have to take a decision like using a donor sperm, your mother doesn't have to know.
Yeah.
So these are things that we need to look into. As husband, you need to be able to shield your wife from people. You need to be able to stand for your wife, because sometimes the challenge is not even from her. It may be a challenge from both of you. It may be a challenge from you. Even if it's from the wife, you have married her. It's for better and for worse. You must be able to stand, for your wife, so that shield her from what people will say to her, and be together. And that's what helped Mr. and Mrs. Eborokai. Like I said, I know them. That's what actually helped them, because Omoz was able to stand for Lara. And you can imagine cultural differences. Lara is Yoruba, Omoz is Edo. I don't know, maybe you want to share. Lara, what about your in-laws? Did you have any challenge?
Oh, yes, I did. I guess it's just then, okay, maybe now I can say, oh, it's just normal. But then it wasn't normal. When you are in it, it's not normal. It's very, very absurd. And so just a second, please. Yep.
Okay, why you going?
Sorry.
Up Nepa.
Up Nepa. Sorry. No. So as I was saying, it's just normal now to me. Then it wasn't a normal thing. And I didn't find it funny. I didn't find it pleasant. It would always get on my nerves. Even when the person is not going to say anything, the mere fact that I'm seeing that person, the first thing is, what do they want again now?
Yeah.
And I'm already on the edge because maybe in the time past, that same person had come before, and there had been one issue or the other which we had tried to resolve. But as time goes on, anytime anytime I see the person, maybe at a gathering or even just a normal visit, I'll kind of start reacting. I might not really say anything, but I'm already putting up a defense, like, don't just come near me. I don't want to discuss anything with you. Even if you mean well, I don't want to talk about it. Can you just please leave me alone? Let me live my life. And like I said, it's now that it looks like a normal reaction, but then it wasn't a pleasant thing at all. But the way I used to address it, I don't usually have any physical argument or anything with anybody, because he is always there to shield. Some will go behind him to come and corner me, but when they come like that, I try to wriggle out of it and quickly get his attention, for them to talk about it. Like, my husband is the first son in a family of 13 children.
Wow.
And yes, and I'm the first wife in the family. And you know what that really, really means in our culture, and especially in their own culture. That means, yes, a lot. And, the first son getting married, no child, and everybody was already, on the expectations were very, very,
Very
high.
high.
Maybe if he wasn't the first son, it would have been a lot easier. But because being the first son was just too much, and the pressure was coming from every side. And I remember that the first wife that came in after me, as soon as she got married pregnant, and in no time she got pregnant again, and she gave twins. Yeah, and no other wives were coming. They have five men in their family, and I think all the 5 males had their children even before Zara came.
Wow.
Yes. So you can imagine all of them had at least a child each. Some had even stopped having kids before Zara came. So it wasn't easy at all. Let's call a spade a spade. It was not easy at all. For me, it was not easy at all. But at the beginning of this meeting, I told you one thing, that he kept on reassuring me. And that assurance went a long way. So I was able to deal, because at a time, there were some members of the family who will not also want to listen to him. They still, I have one particular sister-in-law who always feel that she's on top of everybody's life. My husband had to ban her from coming to our home. For years, we were not seeing each other. If they need to see, she would go to his office. If there is a gathering where she will be there, he will tell me not to come. I have to say, because I'm being practical. We are very good friends now.
Yeah.
She's my paddy now. In fact, she's my best friend in the family now. But then that was how it was, because she was really a thorn in my flesh. So my husband had to say, okay, you know what? You stay away. When you need to see me, come and see me in my office, but just leave my wife alone. If you need to talk to me when I'm at work. Don't even call me when I'm home, because even when he's home, she doesn't call. If she calls, he probably will not pick the call, or they will just say, I'll call you tomorrow. It was like that. But everything is now a story after Zara came. So whether we like it or not, people will talk, people will disturb you, people will become a thorn in your flesh. But it is how you now react to it. It is how you respond to whatever it is that they are doing to you. Because I also remember that during that time, I made up my mind that I wasn't let this infertility issue bring me down. I decided to look out for what I love doing best. I got myself involved in so many things. I was doing business. I was enjoying my work. I was meeting people. I just decided that I was going to live the very best of my life, because I also have friends who will tell me, Lara, enjoy it now, because when the kids start coming, you won't be able to cope again. Enjoy it now. So I listened to them, and I will not lie to you, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed my life. We enjoyed ourselves. We had the best of time together. We will travel. We will visit places we've never been before. We will do anything, just whatever we feel that will be pleasing to us. And also, we didn't leave God out of place. God was at the center of our lives. We will tell God about our situation, and then we'll just move on with our lives. So that was how I was able to deal with the in-law issue. Now we are all parties. Zara is the favorite. Zara is like the golden, they call her in the family, they call her gold. She's like the golden girl of the family now. Everybody wants to meet her. Everybody wants to see her. Everybody sends gifts. Everybody sends love. It's just overwhelming now. And I'm like, I won't trade this for any other thing. So I really want to encourage my sisters out there, if you are going through a situation like this, please, Your in-laws are not your enemy. I can say that now.
Yeah.
Then if somebody had told me then too, I would have like, you don't know what I'm going through. But please, your in-laws are not your enemy. Whether you like it or not, your child is going to carry their gene, is going to carry their blood, whether you like it or not. And you can't take that away from that child whenever that child comes. So if you have anything that is not so pleasing to you, please, instead of, facing each other, arguing and fighting, when you get into your closet, please discuss with your husband. I did that many a times, even when they fight, when anybody comes to fight me, I might not even do anything, but once I get when he gets into the room, the way I will so much deal with him, he will be like, take it easy now. At times, I'm being practical. At times, for weeks, I won't even talk to him. It was that bad. He will now be doing, he will say, oh, it's the begging time. He will beg. What do you want? Will you eat? Will you do this? Can we do this? Can we, he will keep on doing the beg. He never gave up. He never gave up. He never gave up on love. He never gave up on me. He never gave up on God. He just knew it that one day this thing will definitely happen. So that was how we were able to.
Omar said something some years back. I think we had a discussion, and he said infertility will either bring you closer, or tear you apart.
Yes.
You said that some years back.
Yes.
And you have allowed infertility to bring you closer.
Yes.
I have seen a lot of people. Sometimes when we do like a follow-up on our clients, oh, we've not heard from you for a while. Say, for where? I've moved on, or my husband left, or he has married another wife, and you begin to wonder, what's happened? How did you get here? You profess to love one another. You got married, were in love, and now this challenge. And now both of you are apart. You are apart. Even if you want to, I've had a situation where someone, because of pressure, told the wife that I have this pressure coming from my family that I should get another wife. But you know what? I don't want another wife. I just want to have kids. They both agreed. They both agreed. The man had a child, brought the child home, but the wife is still the wife. And that's the power of communication. Because at that time, they saw that, okay, maybe the challenges were many, the woman wasn't getting pregnant even with IVF, but they both agreed on what to do. And that's the point. That agreement as a couple is very, very important. We agree to stay together. Both of you have agreed to be together. You have agreed to weather the storm. But one thing that I saw in both of you, that's God factor. Unfortunately, we have a lot of people who will claim they are Christians, they are this, they are staunch Muslims, and they're this, but they are not practical. They are Christians only when they're in church. But when it comes to decisions like this, they are not. But you brought it home. You brought Christianity home. This is what we have agreed. This is what we are going to do together. And that's exactly what helped your marriage. 24 years, 16 years of waiting. Oh boy, that was a lot. That was a lot. But my question is, was there any time that you felt like quitting?
That was the last thing that crossed our minds. Because like I said, infertility is not a disease, it's not a death sentence. It's only a setback. And thanks to modern medicine, there is always a way out. There are options available for people. It's left for the couple, both of them, like you rightly said, to take a decision on what to do. So it never crossed my mind. If taking a second wife didn't cross my mind. Then why will going our separate ways cross my mind? It never crossed my mind. It never crossed my mind.
I hope some people are listening.
Yeah,
because if you are in this situation, and
yeah,
maybe you are in this situation and you have been thinking about this.
Yeah.
That's why they are here to encourage you. They waited for 16 years before Zara came. Our Zara, we gave her different names. Ade Zara, Lua Zara, Oye Zara, Omo Zara, Jesu Zara. You know, very precious to us. So, are you in that situation now?
Okay.
That you need to make a decision on whether to leave your wife or not to leave, or whether to leave your husband or not to leave. You are a couple, you are a family, and in togetherness, you can fight this. In togetherness, you can achieve this aim of having a child or children. But you can only do it if you are together. If you are together. Now, let's talk about intimacy. We've talked about the challenges, we've talked about how you coped and all that. Yes. You said you traveled, both of you will travel, you were doing things that you like. Let's talk about connection between the two of you, because it's so important. I talked to people, I said, if you are not connected as a couple now, when you are, even for people who are married, who have children, some people, they are not connected. They are not connected. They have kids. Yeah. It's not a challenge. Even having children is not a challenge to them, but they are not just connected as a couple.
Yeah.
And that's where we bring on intimacy. Because at a point in your life, your children will leave home. What's going to happen to you? Do you know that that's the point that majority of men have the second wives? That's the point. Because now, what you're supposed to do when you are young is to come together, is to be together, is to love one another, is to get intimate. But you have allowed a lot of things to come between you that you are not intimate any longer. Intimacy was just for the time that you just got married. You ask some people, when last did you kiss your husband? He said, kiss. What's that one? Who have time for that one? So let's talk about intimacy. How were you able to, to connect? How were you able to be intimate? Because intimacy also leads to good sex.
Yeah.
So what did you do together? How did you cope? How did you manage?
Okay. Intimacy for us is not just limited to sex. It's beyond that. For instance, we do a lot of things together. We go to work together. We have lunch together. His office it wasn't so far from my office. So during lunch, it's either he comes to my office or I go to his office, or we send lunch to each other, depending on the setting of the day.
And I remember something.
Yes.
Sometimes you will check in hotel.
Yes. At times we check in hotel to just enjoy ourselves. And then on a Friday, we check in the hotel. Monday, we go back to work. And life goes on. And on days when we don't check into hotels, we ride together in the same car. And I guess the intimacy actually starts from there. It even starts from the office. Before the era of a mobile phone, there was a Nitel. He calls me more. He calls my office land phone, and it tells me some sweet nothing. And then, of course, that would get me in the mood.
And some goosebumps.
Yeah. So why won't I look forward to going home? Before I close at 4:30 on the dot, he's already in my office waiting for me to pick me. And then it starts right from there. We get at times instead of getting home to start cooking, we do takeouts. We come home, eat, and then every other thing follows.
That's the way to go.
Way to go. So that was a regular thing for us. It was very, very regular for us. And let me also tell you one thing. We had people living with us, but that did not stop us from being intimate, because some will say, the house, I just need to be alone with my husband. There's nothing wrong in being alone with your spouse, with your wife or your husband. Unfortunately, that wasn't our own setting. That's the situation we found ourselves. At a point, we had up to like 8 people. 8 people, yes, living with us. But at least we had our bedroom to ourselves. We had our car to ourselves. We had our offices to ourselves. So we looked for every opportunity where we could have our alone time and we do our thing. Some days we come back from work and all the people living with us, maybe they've gone for one thing or the other, and we seize that opportunity. Sometimes weekends, some of them will travel, we seize that opportunity, but we didn't allow all that to, stop us from becoming intimate. And like I said earlier, intimacy does not just start and begin with sex alone. It could be part of it, but so we had every, quiet time, long time. We seized every opportunity, to
be together.
To be together, yes. Even when we go to church, we're always together. We were in the same ministry in church. We were choristers in church, so we were in the same ministry. So definitely we would go to, there was never really a time we were apart. It was so much that at a point, we will even dress the same way. If it's Ankara we are wearing, that's if we wear his Boban Shoko. If it's lace, if we wear his own, and we were always doing this Anko thing, and everybody knew us for that. Some even laugh at us because of that, but we were enjoying it. Yeah, we were catching the cruise. To us, it was fun. So we really had our, private life together. We were always together. So I think that also really, help us. Do you have any other things to say that I might not remember?
Okay. There's this aspect that we do a lot. We even still do it now. I pick her up, and then the first 5 minutes is storytelling.
Yeah, this is what happened today.
This is what happened today. These were the challenges. Can you imagine a girl was making passes at me? And I told her that unless you are ready to die, my wife will kill you. And then she will also say, a guy came to the office and was winking at me, and I will say,
has he written
his will? Tell him to go and write his will, because he's a gunner. So we had stories to tell.
Yeah.
The stories were never short.
Yeah.
There will always be stories by the day, and there was nothing we could not talk about.
Yeah.
To the extent that if you were a third party in the car, we'll just tell you, sorry, we can't change our life because of you.
We have to talk.
If you are single, start learning now. We have to talk, and we will talk about everything
and anything.
Even Zara knows.
So whether people were in the house or not, it didn't stop us from expressing our love. I will still kiss her in the
presence of everybody.
I say, if you can't bear it, close your eyes
or move out.
I'll drop her and I'll kiss her, to the extent that some of the security men in our office,
they were always waiting for the kissing time,
watching out to say, hey, then they come again, or they will soon kiss. Just watch them. Well, we just lived our lives, and we didn't hide anything. I mean, we talked, we had our own love signs, we would hold hands. Any opportunity, we will hold hands.
Yeah.
And then friends will say, you think you are still a young boy and a young girl? I'll say, for as long as we live, she's still my calendar girl. 12 months in a year, all year round. I can't hold any other person now, so why won't I hold my wife? So while waiting, couples need to find time to really express their love. Let the party know that she's loved, irrespective of what is going on. And there was a time we watched a film. I can't really tell the title now, but what we got out of it was Maybe Baby.
Maybe Baby. That's the title.
Maybe, I think that was the title. Maybe Baby. A couple going through infertility challenges, and then they visited their doctor, and the doctor said, how many times do you have sex? Where do you have sex? And they said, in the bedroom while the light is off. And the doctor said, no, what's wrong with you? Maybe, baby, do it anywhere.
And they went into an open field.
Any available space. If it's in the kitchen, go ahead. You have the license and all that. And so we just had fun. We will make fun out of every difficulty, every challenge, to the extent that in room 2 in Nordica, we now said we have a Nordica star. And so all those who want to know this room 2, they should go to Nordica and know the star. So we made fun of every opportunity. What ordinarily will make you want to fight, we'll make fun out of it. So it was like, see, whether we squeeze our face or we don't squeeze our face, there is a challenge, and we must overcome it.
Let's take some questions.
Okay.
Okay. Some of the questions here actually have been answered. Well, say that how did now happen? That is coming of Zara. Yes, Zara came by IVF. They mentioned that they did 11 cycles of IVF before Zara came. So that answers your question. That's how Zara came. Okay. How do you deal with infertility when one have financial constraints? Another person that has something about money says you've had several IVFs. What's the estimated cost before you had your first baby? You don't want to know.
Yeah, that's why some of our families even call Zara Owolabi.
Owolabi?
Yes.
You don't want to know. For someone to have done IVF 11 times.
11 times. Yeah, just do a rough estimate. Even if it's 100,000 per cycle, it's a lot of money.
Which is not possible.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. More than that, it's a lot of money. But the gist there is the focus.
Yeah.
We were ready to lay aside every other thing just to ensure that we achieved our purpose, our goal. So if couples are out there and they think finance will be a handicap, just be focused. Change your lifestyle. If for the sake of a baby, you reduce your meat intake to 1 a day, it's a sacrifice. You need to make sacrifices. If you need to borrow, because we borrowed. We cut down on our lifestyle. There was a time we could travel all around, but nobody told us to limit our traveling because we had something we were doing.
Yeah.
There were times we needed to change our cars, but as long as it was taking us from point A to B, that wasn't our focus.
Priority at that time.
Yeah, that wasn't our priority. So prioritize, and then you just discover that the monies will be there. Once there is a will, there is a way.
Yeah.
That's because raising finances is a topic on its own, and that's
But someone says, how do I make my husband to always encourage me because he doesn't care how I feel?
Well,
that's something.
That's deep. That's serious.
Very deep. Yeah.
But as a wife, you also have a role to play.
Yeah.
Because there's always this tendency that when you are waiting, you leave yourself in the sense that you let down your guard. You are no longer attractive. You don't make your husband look forward to coming home.
To desire you.
Your hair is unkempt. I'm not saying buy what do you call this new wig now?
Bone straight.
Bone straight. No.
If you can afford it.
If you can afford
Why
it,
not?
make yourself as attractive as possible so that he doesn't have an opportunity to look outside. Wear decent clothes. They don't need to be expensive.
Yeah.
Wear sexy clothes.
Yeah.
Don't do Mama Rubo tie wrapper on your chest and be walking all around. Make yourself attractive. Wear bomb shorts for your husband in the house. I'm not saying wear it and start roaming the street. No, for your husband. So that he sees you differently. And the moment he sees you differently, he wants to come close to you. Yeah. So if you don't make yourself attractive, well, they said a dog that will get lost will not listen to whistle.
That's true. You know what? One thing that you can also do, because you said your husband doesn't care how you feel. Maybe that's not the situation. Maybe you should sit down and talk to him.
And talk,
have a chat that this is the way I feel.
Yeah.
He may not. He may feel otherwise.
Yeah.
I think you need to sit down and talk. Then also look within yourselves, like Omar said. What are the things that you were doing before that you're not doing again? Because most of the time, infertility makes people to lose, everything. What you were doing before, you do your hair, you make up, you say, well, I'm not happy. How would I be doing that? No, that's part of what we are saying. Enjoy your life. Make yourself attractive. Make yourself beautiful. It's for both of you. Yeah. Buy G-string. Wear G-string. Yeah. Watch blue film. In your closet. You and your husband. Talk about your challenges. That's part of intimacy. You talk about your challenges, you talk about your fears, you talk about your happiness, everything about you. Don't just focus on infertility alone. Talk about your work, talk about your, everything. What is going on? If you see when in myself and my husband, when we talk about this lover in this house, hey, you talk about anything. I'm the one that is on social media. I'll bring a lot of gist from him that, come. This is what is happening now on social media. I'll see this one. They don't beat somebody for tattooing Bobrisky on our body. Talk about everything. Talk about everything. Someone says, when I'm depressed, I thought of quitting when the pressure is much on me. This is what you have learned today. Do not quit.
Never quit.
No. And don't make it your problem. It is for both of you. Yeah. And that's why we're doing this, so that both of you can. I wish the men are also with their wives watching this program, so that it's not just about you alone listening to all these things. Always make sure that you join this kind of program so that you learn from one another. We have learned from Omoz and Lara this evening because they've been able to talk about the way they manage these challenges that they had, and yes, depression will come. You think about your situation and it makes you sad. That's normal. It's a normal feeling. Yeah. But you know what? Quickly get over it. As long as it's both of you. Go out, even if it's Bolly and Granot, buy both of you. Sit down in your sitting room. Just sit down on the floor. Eat your Bolly and Granot. Watch movie. Before I start caressing his body, before you know it, it will happen there and then. And that's what we are saying. It doesn't have to be in the bedroom. You can do it in the kitchen. You can do it in the toilet. You can do it in the bathroom, in your sitting room, anywhere. Just do it anyway. Have sex. And the more you have sex, the more intimate you become. The more you have sex, the more intimate. And you know what? Don't make it mechanical. Like he said, it starts from the morning. When you are leaving your house in the morning, make it count. Say something to your spouse that will want to make him, think about coming home early to meet you. They will both leave the office, they will go to a restaurant or go to somewhere, buy a pack of lunch and take it home and eat, These are little things that you can infuse into your own relationship also. It doesn't have to be big things. Sometimes over the weekend, like you said, on Friday, they will check into one hotel. From the hotel on Monday, they will go to work. They've had a good time over the weekend. It's not likely that Lara will get to the office and be nasty to our colleagues because she had a good time over the weekend. And you know what? When you look around you, most people who have infertility challenges are usually very nasty in the office.
True.
They get on people's nerves because they are sad.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. When you have good sex, people will know.
Yeah.
Because you'll be glowing. You'll be glowing. You will laugh more. That's good sex, not the ritualistic sex that you have always been having. Have good sex that will make you glow, that will make you, when you remember what your husband says to you or what he has done to you in the middle of the night, just smile. Somebody will say, come, you're always smiling nowadays. What's wrong with you? It's because you're having good sex, my dear. And that's what we are trying to preach here. Don't just have sex, have good sex. That's what we are saying.
Yeah.
Let me see any other question. Were you both enjoy sex during your waiting period? Was there a time your hubby never had interest in sex? We've answered that. They enjoyed themselves. They had good time. They had good time. Yes, they did. I know that. I know that. Thank you, sir, for this explicit presentation. My question is, what do you do when your husband is not ready to communicate with you on this issue? I have a child a year after we got married, and we've been trying for another baby. My son will be 10 years. It's really challenging with families, especially. What do you do when your husband is not ready to talk about what to do next? How do we answer that?
Just continue to try. Like we've said, try talking to him.
Yeah.
Talking to him does not mean talking about a baby all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, find out what his hobby is. If he's an Arsenal supporter, also love Arsenal, and whether you understand the game of football or not, just stay by him and say, who are those wearing red? Have they scored?
Or you can fry meat.
Or you can fry meat and put by his side while he's watching. One thing leads to the other. You could start by talking about politics and then catch him off guard. Before you know what is happening, you are now discussing what do you think about us having a second child? How do we have heard about Nordica? Do we go to visit Nordica? Just to, and it might not, at times the guys, we are very diplomatic. He might even tell you, see, this one that we haven't even finished thinking of how to train him. You are talking of another child. Just talk to him and also encourage him. As Mrs. Ajayi said, let him know exactly how you feel. And then I'm sure you'll be able to reach a middle course. Always be prepared to negotiate. There's always negotiation. Know his mood. If he's Arsenal and they are beating Arsenal 4-0, that's not the time, that's not the day to go and discuss fertility issue.
Or money issue.
Discussing when Arsenal has beaten their opponent 5-0, he's in high spirits, and then he's ready to take anything, and you can just chip it in and say, let's talk about this. And then don't also make yourself predictable. From nowhere, just throw in the question, and that will catch him off ground. Even if he's prepared, he will stammer, and this guy wants to talk about something else, or he wants to talk about it. So know his mood. And
somebody says, how do I get to orgasm? Because I think it's important for conception. Orgasm is not important for conception, my dear. Orgasm is good for you. It's good for your own pleasure. Not for conception. It doesn't have to do, it doesn't have anything to do with
what's
conception.
Important for conception is the eggs and the
sperm and the eggs, meeting.
And when they meet,
if your teeth are opened.
So orgasm for satisfaction, enjoyment.
Yes, for pleasure. But if you are not getting to orgasm, I think you need to check, because there are different things that may, are you aroused when you have sex? Because if you have arousal problem, that's a different thing. If it's orgasmic problem where you are aroused and you are not getting to orgasm, that's a different situation. So you need to identify the problem exactly. Are you being aroused? Because if you are not aroused, it's not likely that you get to orgasm. Are you aroused and you are not getting to orgasm? There are two different things. So if you are not aroused, then you probably need to talk to your husband about it. On what do you want? What would pleasure you? Where do you want your husband to touch you? Let him know. Because sometimes your husband is touching you in the wrong place. Or maybe you are not even having a foreplay that will get you aroused. If you're aroused, it's likely you get to orgasm. Or is it that you are dry and that sex becomes like painful? If that is the case, you can use lubricants. There's no harm in using lubricants for you to get wet. But foreplay is essential for you to get aroused and for you to get to orgasm. So that's very important. So, but you need to talk about it with your husband. Let him know what you want. How do you want to be pleasured for you to be able to reach orgasm? But it doesn't have anything to do with conception. It's for your pleasure. Some of the questions here, they've been answered in the course of our discussion tonight. What was it like for you each of the times when you did not achieve a pregnancy? That's a big deep.
We felt bad because it's only normal when you expect to score an A and you don't get an A. So, but like I said, we kept on encouraging ourselves, and we kept on discussing with our doctors to find out what could possibly have gone wrong. And they, in their own way, also kept on assuring us that just let's give it another try and all that. So it's natural to feel bad when it's not positive. But the important thing is, if you are not playing in the game, then you cannot score. So you need to play in order to score and keep on playing. And that's how we kept on playing until we scored.
So the most important thing is that you should never lose hope. Don't lose hope, because your next attempt might just be the one. You know, sometimes you ask some people when they come to the clinic, how often do you have sex? That question, in fact, I always find pleasure in asking, because I'm ready and I'm willing to look at both of them. And I'll look at the man, I'll look at the wife. Sometimes you see the man saying, ask her. And definitely you know that there is a problem. When the man is saying ask her, that means it's the wife that is not cooperating. When the woman says, oh, I don't know, maybe you should ask him.
Ask him.
You know, definitely you know that there is a challenge. And when you probe further, how often do you have sex? And they tell you, oh, maybe once in 2 months, once in a month, once in 3 weeks. Come on. You are having sex to have babies. You are not having sex for pleasure. If you don't have sex for pleasure, even having sex for babies may not come. Because you are tensed. You are looking at your calendar. You are looking at your ovulation time. When let me give you an instance. The husband is at work. The woman suddenly realizes that she's ovulating. She calls the man. Come. The doctor said we should meet today. Where are you? The man may be in a meeting. He's unable to pick the call. The woman keeps calling. Where are you? When are you coming home? Then the man will probably go out and answer the call or reply the text that, okay, I'll be with you shortly. The man is already agitated. Then he leaves the office. He's in a traffic. He gets home tired. The woman is waiting. Not that she's not waiting to have love making. She's waiting to have baby making ritual. You understand? And by the time the man comes home, he's tired, he's weak. And he gets on the bed, the woman is ready. Oh yeah, I'm ovulating. Then the man removes his trouser, removes his pants, and there is no erection. What happens? That's a big wahala. But you know what? If you know that today is your ovulation, you start in the morning. Oh my dear, have a good time at work. You know, you kiss one another. He's in the mood. He's thinking about it. He gets into the office. Maybe you send him a message to say, how's your day going? Love you. There are so many emojis nowadays that you can send. The one that is saying, the one that is doing, you know, all sorts of things you send to him while in the office. He knows that something is in the making. By the time he gets home, he's in the mood also. And you have prepared, and not that the man will now come home, he will now meet you. Your weave-on is smelling. Your weave-on is smelling. Your dress looks somehow. You know, even if the erection is supposed to come, at that moment, the erection will go away. That's, this mama again. But when you package yourself, the man is coming home, you are in a bomb shot. Your perfume, the moment the man enters the house, the perfume is, and they have a lot of beautiful perfume oils nowadays. You have put some here. Oh, welcome, my dear. And he comes home, he finishes his meal, before he finishes, you're already, maybe you've gone to the bathroom to go and do some adjustment to everywhere. Definitely, you will enjoy that sex more.
Yeah.
Unlike the one, please, ladies, if your weave-on is smelling, if your husband is there, please just call me and send your wife's number to me. Let me call her. Because I don't know why weave-on will smell. You see a lot of women. God, how do you cope? And the men are looking at beautiful ladies out there.
Outside, yeah.
Beautiful ladies that they have used glutathione or what have they? But they have packaged their breast and packaged their bum. They are looking at them in their offices, and they now come home to you wearing one boo-boo. Oh my goodness. Why are you doing that to yourself? How do you want to enjoy sex that way? But you know what? Talk about sex. That's where it starts from. What do you want? Ask your husband, what does he want? How do you want me to pleasure you? There is no harm in talking about it. Sure. Don't be shy. Say it the way it is. Sex is sex. Penis is penis. Vagina is vagina. Breast is breast. There's no other name for it. Orgasm is orgasm. Say it. Foreplay. Say it. This is where I want you to touch me. Kiss me here. Suck my breast. This is what I want. And let the man also say the same thing. And that's what is going to help both of you. And like I always say, maybe we should start rounding up because we promise ourselves not to take too much of our time. We can always do this. I think we need to be doing this regularly. We shouldn't just wait for Valentine. Valentine. We talk about this often. Yes, I always say something that is going to be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it is not the end. If it's not okay, it is not the end. So there is always that moment. It will come. The only thing is, do not lose hope. Do not lose hope. And don't allow your wounds to turn you into a person that you are not. A lot of people have turned themselves to monsters because they are unable to have kids. A lot of people have turned themselves to monsters because they are unable to have good relationship with their spouses. Don't allow your situation, your wound to turn you to the person that you are not. Tell yourself, I can do it, and I will do it. I'll make myself happy. I'll make my spouse happy. To the men, love your wife. Talk about your challenges. Let us look at, your situation may be different from my situation. Your situation is your situation. Talk to your wife about it. You've married one another and you are in this together. Be a man that you are, because marriage is not for the boys. Marriage is for men. So be a man and stand up for your wife. Stand up for your wife from family members, from friends. Some men have turned their wives to dirty things in the house for everybody to come around to trample on. The sister-in-laws, in fact, sister-in-law wahala is more than mother-in-law wahala. They will come and they will become the Lord in another person's home. That should not be. If you are a man, please treat your wife well and she will treat you right. Let's talk more about sex. Let's break that myth. Let's break that cultural barrier that does not allow us to discuss sex. Sex is good. Sex is beautiful. It makes you glow. I posted something recently. I said, I got a lot of comments and I was laughing and, sex can make you beautiful. It makes you glow, really. If you're not having enough sex, you will look older than your age. Trust me.
Yeah.
I'm having good sex, and I'm not looking older than my age. I'm actually looking younger. I know somebody is listening. Somebody is listening to me and say, "Ma, but that's the truth, honestly. That's the truth. It makes you look younger. It makes you look refreshed. You know, you play more. You don't have to be so uptight. And sex, good sex will give you that. It will make you to be, you know, you just glow.
Glow.
Just glow. Just glow. And it will make you to have fun of your life with your partner, with your spouse. Mr. and Mrs. Orokai, I want to say thank you so much. Maybe you have a parting word for us before we leave tonight.
Well, let couples stay together. Let wives fight for their homes and don't give up easily. Quitting is not the answer to any issue. It's fighting to win the battle. And then there is FIRE. We are set up for counseling, for encouragement and all that. So avail yourself the opportunity. Call Nordica and telephone numbers will be made available. You are free to call us at any time to discuss any issue. I will gladly share our experiences with you. Stay blessed and you'll be winners someday.
Thank you so much. There are some questions about IVF. We're not talking about IVF tonight. We're just talking about sex and intimacy. Some people are asking about cost and IVF integration and all that. You can always reach us and ask your questions. We do a lot of programs talking about IVF. This is specifically about intimacy. And I want to tell everybody that even when you're not waiting to have a child, I know some people have joined. It's not about infertility. It's just to talk about sex. Do not let us have ritualistic sex. Mechanical sex will not help anyone. Will not help anyone. Have sex. Just have sex. You know, just have it. And be happy doing it. That's the truth. No ritualistic sex. So tell yourself tonight, no to ritualistic sex. No to mechanical sex. I will have good sex. I will enjoy sex with my husband. That's something that everybody should take home tonight. Omoz and Lara did it while waiting. They waited for quite a number of years, for 16 years before they had Uluwazara. And she's been a blessing to the family. You can also achieve the same thing if you don't quit. Depression will come or sadness will come, but just do what? Let it fly. There are so many challenges in the world. It's not just about infertility, is just one problem.
True.
Just one problem. We all have different things that we go through. So please, as you go tonight, just hold on to that message. Talk about sex, enjoy sex, have fun, be intimate with each other. Intimacy, like Charlie Boy said, is see finish. See finish. See yourself finish. Everything, just see finish. I said something during the week. I said, intimacy is when you can mess. You know, I mean, mess is so. When you can mess at each other, it's intimacy. But you know, some ladies can never mess in the front of their husbands. Or more, you're on a long thing.
Me, I'm a pro.
I guess if something smells in the house, my children will look at me and say, "Mommy." Even if it's not me, you say, "Mommy." That's see finish. If you cannot mess with each other, long thing. You are not there yet. And that's the stage that we need to be. I want to say thank you for everyone who had participated in tonight's edition of So let me ask, did you give your husband something? Did you give your wife something for Valentine?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I gave him
She gave me a fine shirt.
Okay.
and
I
a
gave,
jalamia.
yeah, and I gave her a teddy and
Oh, that's nice.
yeah,
And other things that can be shared here.
you know.
Oh, we don't want to know that.
No.
We don't want to know that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank
You so
you.
much. It's been a wonderful time, and I want to say thank you, because anytime we call you, you're always willing to share your story. You're always willing to let us know the way it went over the 16 years that you waited, and how God has been able to bless you with Zara. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I love both of you. You know that from my heart. I know you know that. And we're grateful to God for everything. So for everyone who had participated, thank you for tonight. See you again. And don't forget, have sex all the time. Not just sex, but enjoyable sex. Thank you, and God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye.